It's official, today marks exactly 5 years since the UK left the EU, and the effects of Brexit are still unfolding. And this morning, on Insight News TV, a 5-year storm still raging, Brexit's impact is unravelling in ways no one predicted. The economy, immigration, travel, trade, it's all shifting. But is Britain better off, or has it paid the ultimate price for sovereignty? Stay with me as we break down the 5 biggest shocks of Brexit that are still shaking the UK to its core. And trust me, you'll want to hear the last one. Brexit was supposed to free Britain's trade, but instead it's tied businesses in red tape. Tariffs were dodged, but companies are drowning in new paperwork. Exports have plunged. Some studies suggest they are down by a staggering 30% compared to what they could have been. And here's the kicker. Smaller businesses are taking the hardest hit. Giants may navigate the maze, but smaller firms struggling to survive. Meanwhile, services like consulting and advertising are thriving, but the government's own forecasts predict an economic contraction of 4% in the long run. That's a £100 billion loss. So, was Brexit an economic blunder, or is there a hidden silver lining? Immigration was a driving force behind the Brexit vote. The UK wanted control, so it ended freedom of movement. The result? A sharp fall in EU migrants, but a huge surge from non-EU countries. Health workers, students, professionals, flooding in under new visa rules. UK universities, desperate for funding, turned to international students. But now, the government is tightening the screws on visa rights. Will this crackdown stabilise migration, or create a new crisis? And what about the industries that relied on EU workers? Could Britain be facing an unexpected labour shortage? Remember the days of breezing through European borders? They're over. British travellers now face longer lines, stricter passport rules, and it's about to get worse. Come 2025, the EU is rolling out a digital tracking system, recording fingerprints, faces, and every move you make. Then, an EU visa waiver programme, meaning UK citizens must pay for permission to enter Europe, a nightmare for tourists and business travellers alike. And the UK? Retaliating with its own travel permit for EU visitors? Could this spark a travel war? And will the new system lead to chaos at the borders? Taking back control. That was the Brexit battle cry. But 5 years later, has Britain truly broken free from EU laws? Thousands of EU regulations were absorbed into UK law after Brexit, with the government slowly chipping away at them. But here's the truth. Most EU laws still stand. Some changes have been made, banning live animal exports, tweaking VAT rules, even altering regulations on gene-edited crops. But was Brexit really about tweaking policies? Or was it about something bigger, an identity shift? And could a future government quietly realign the UK with EU standards? The famous £350 million per week claim. Remember that? Well, Britain no longer pays into the EU's budget. In theory, that should be a huge win. But the reality? Much of that money was coming back in EU funding anyway, supporting farmers, infrastructure, research. The net saving, closer to £9 billion per year, a fraction of what was promised. And then there's the Horizon Science programme. Britain left, then paid to rejoin. So are we really better off financially, or just paying more for less influence? 5 years on, Brexit is still a political earthquake. Economic losses, immigration shifts, travel restrictions, legal battles. Was it all worth it? And with the Keir Starmer government looking to mend ties with the EU, could Britain be on the verge of yet another historic shift? One thing is clear, Brexit's story isn't over. And here at Insight News TV, we'll be following every twist and turn. What do you think? Has Brexit delivered what was promised? Or is Britain still paying the price? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe for in-depth analysis and breaking updates, only on Insight News TV. Stay informed, stay ahead.